Well, here we are again, folks. Welcome back. It's Dr. Dennis Becker. That's me. And the other voice you're about to hear is my all-time, all favorite co-host, Robin Golinski. And we have a guest with us today who you'll meet in just a moment. So anyway, Robin and I are here again to talk with you about what? About that loving topic
Manipulation.
of manipulation. Oh boy, are we going to have fun with that? Not so much. Okay, so we know over the years that we've been talking with you that we try to make a little bit of levity out of something that's very traumatic and dramatic for you. But the whole idea here is to help you learn how to protect yourself while you are being manipulated. We're not here to tell you what not to do, where not to go, and all of that. We're here to say if you find yourself in a situation where you're being manipulated, try this. So that's what we're doing. We wrote a book about it and all of that. But anyway, that's why we're here. And we have a special guest with us today. Robin, would you do me the flavor and favor of introducing Kelly for us and what
The
we're going to talk a little
flavor
bit about?
is spicy, and manipulators are when there's too much spice in this life. So we
Yeah.
want to reduce the caliente. Yes, I would like to introduce Kelly, and she's chosen to be anonymous, so this should be a juicy interview. So welcome, Kelly, to our.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you for
so
being Thank you for being willing to do this. This is a very courageous thing you're going to be doing. I can tell you right now, you're going to be helping a lot of people by the very fact that you're willing to be here. So many people want to be anonymous. So thank you for even doing this.
So many
Thank
people don't even want to be recognized by the
Yeah.
sound of their voice because we know that manipulators are difficult. They're very,
Yeah.
very, very difficult people, and
Yeah.
the backlash that ensues from them. But anyway, we do appreciate the fact that you're willing to help others, and that's the point here. And we'd love to hear a little background from, how you realized you were in a manipulative relationship, what that relationship looks like. If you could give us the context, that would be awesome.
And Kelly, is this something that you're currently involved with, or is this history or both of those things?
I don't think I'm going to get rid of this person anytime
Oh,
soon. So we do have children together, but it's
Yep.
been a long road. Uh, a little over 14 years, and I know that it's trauma. I'm still going through it and trying to figure out ways to maneuver through this manipulator. Um, but it is a work in progress every day. There's always something new, but there's always, they're just trying to get your goat. They really
So
are.
So 14 years is a long time, and I totally get it. Been there, done that with children, and we'll do anything for our children, right? So we'll suffer for their sake. What point, how many years in, or was there a pivotal moment when you realized this is no bueno?
I think that the manipulation has always been, within our relationship. Um, the backstory being that there was a little bit of abuse and so forth, and so it was a continuous kind of horrible road. But I did have some children from that person, so I'm happy with my children. But yes, every day is always an event, and
Well,
just
when you
dealing
say abuse, do you mean physical abuse? And you don't have to
with
share anything you're not comfortable sharing, of course.
yeah, there's trauma with physical abuse, obviously, and now there isn't any physical abuse. There's definitely some mental abuse going on. I just try to, just maneuver through that, and every day, like I said, it's just different through just I don't have to face this person anymore, thankfully, and that alleviates a lot of the stress. I don't
I
have to be in
bet.
the same room as this person, thankfully.
That's
So,
very, very important when you've experienced physical abuse. Very important.
right. And with the help of the court system, I mean, people dealing with somebody like this, it's always helpful to have um, a communication that's just text messaging, which, the court system does supply that for you going forward. But I used to just take these text messages that were given to me. I would take pictures of them, screenshot them, collect them.
Yeah.
It was always a continuous thing. And then they obviously use the children for a tool.
Yes,
So
that's the hardest part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was
Kelly, this has been 14 years. Uh, may I ask if you folks knew each other as it 14 years of marriage, or was this include the relationship prior to? How did you guys first meet?
So we met through neighbors, and that's just kind of the relationship that happened. Unfortunately, I was going out of an ugly relationship, and so I
Oh,
cycled into an uglier relationship. So
oh
when we
boy.
talk of red flags and we talk about, hey, did you see this coming? I mean, it's kind of textbook, but unfortunately. So, I mean, where I'm healed now, I don't find myself as a victim in any sense, but I do, the wheel stops spinning now,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's
And
been,
this is, I'm sure there are many of our listeners who are identifying with what you just said in the last 60 seconds. They're coming out of another relationship into this new one. And I'll tell you, manipulators, when they know that or when they find that out, they also find out what were the pain points that you were experiencing, what are the kind of things you're hoping to get away from, et cetera, et cetera. All of that gets stored away for them to ultimately then, sad to say, use against you
Leverage.
as
right.
leverage. That's right.
Uh,
That's
Can you
And
give
they,
us, sorry,
sorry,
go ahead.
yeah, they definitely have some kind of sixth sense.
yeah,
They're the sickness, but they have that
yeah,
kind of sixth
Yes,
sense
they do.
to
That's
that's right.
hone in on it for
That's right.
sure.
Right. Was there a period of time in there where you thought for a little bit even, well, this is just a new relationship. He'll change and it'll be okay. I can help him develop some new skills because of what I've learned. I can help him change. Was there ever a period of time when you felt that way?
There was a brief time where I was like, well, I'm changed, or I can go through this. This is fine. This is nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, it never gets any better.
Can
yeah.
you give us an example of something that in the very beginning that you found compelling that may have been informed by your prior relationship? So you said you came out of a bad relationship, you went into a worse one, but it probably didn't look like a worse one when you jumped into it. Was there love bombing involved? Was there a comparison involved where you said, oh, my last relationship was like this, but this one's different. And then the colors changed later. If you can give us a specific example of,
Definitely love bombing. Right. Yeah, there was that. And he actually has a child from another relationship.
Ah,
So, yes. So, that kind of made me kind of stick through. Um, but yeah, definitely. I feel tricked, but
yeah,
I did get children off of this now, so no
yeah,
one's all so bad. And
yeah,
being being with that, I'm okay. But now with the kids being, how they've had to deal with it, and seeing the things that they have. I mean, they're starting to see his faults for
yeah,
sure.
sure.
how old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
They're 15.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's terrific. That's usually when the scales start to fall from the eyes.
Change. Yep, yep.
It can be
Yeah.
really, really, really much more difficult with children who are 3 years old or 8 years old or even 10 years old. Mine were 11 and 17 when I left my ex, and the 17-year-old was much more aware than the 11-year-old was. And it can be, like you said, the children then become pawns and a
Yes.
vehicle, and it's very difficult. What
And,
would,
and go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, it's just kind of difficult because you can see them going through this, and yet they can point out the faults. Like it just as a young mind would, they can point out the faults and the negativeness, and then that's actually a kind of proud moment for me when I'm like, I realize, hey, yeah, you know what love should be.
Good.
That is a
Good for you.
proud moment. And it
Mhm.
can
It is
also
good.
be bittersweet because you can feel guilty as well, which I don't know if you did, but I felt incredibly guilty that, but when you know better, you do better. And we don't always know because the
Right.
love bombing is so powerful. It's just so
Mhm.
powerful in the beginning. And then once you're in and you're, committed, it's much harder.
Are they at a point now, Kelly? Are they at a point now where, how should we say this? They're on your side or his? Where are you?
Um, the she's more like, she's a neutral being. She just she sees it as just, I'm on everybody's side. But when there is something wrong, yeah, definitely. They say, hey, this is not right.
Oh, good.
So they put their foot down. But
Good.
I mean, I wanted to ask, like, how people emotionally have to go through trauma and deal with somebody who is like this, because it's a mental trauma too, not just a
Sure. Of
physical trauma.
course.
The
I mean,
mental's worse in a
the
way.
mental is yes, but now, I mean, I have this person. They used to follow me around, like stalk me. So
Yeah.
I have
Mhm.
Yep.
issues with that, and just now, just the issues. Alone are just like how they converse with you and sit there, and they try to use the child as a tool, but yet you have to sit back and be like, you have to talk to them in such a way that it make it look like um, that they made the idea up, that they're the ones who have the great plans. And it's just, oh, it's just so it's aggravating to have to bend and fold for somebody and how they communicate to you, because this is all through text messaging. And,
Mhm.
thankfully, dealing with it that way, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
But I
Sure.
mean,
Well, when
I
you deal with it through text messaging like you're doing, you
mhm,
basically have taken away and you have put under your control a lot more of the tactics that the manipulator would be using, the physical things, the threats,
mhm.
the facial expression, the tone of voice, the language, all of that, much of that, you are now controlling. So it's a good idea that you've got this down to a text thing. We'll talk a little bit about how you fix that, but right now, good for you. I'm glad you've
I
got
want
it
to
down
make
to
sure I understand the question. Your question is, how do you, like, should you be doing to deal with the manipulation, even though it's coming through text messages? Is that what you were asking?
Right. Right. Like, do you just agree to disagree? Do you sit back and just say, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, wonderful. You did,
Yeah,
try to make it look like it's their idea all the time.
Well, you're onto something there.
yeah, right.
And I'll tell you that it's remembering the game that's being played here. When it's about manipulation, it's about control and it's
Good.
about win lose. They have a
Yep.
win lose mindset and they keep score. So
Yep.
your intuition is right. Letting them have a win wherever you can is very important. Also, remember, if you can screenshot the text messaging, so
Mhm.
can they. And they are always going to be baiting you into
Yeah.
looking as bad as you can, as they can
Right.
make you look. So
Right.
they're
Okay.
all about baiting and baiting. So if you can zoom back and see the game for what it is, which is manipulation, and they want to win, and one of the ways they win is making you look bad. So don't take the bait. I mean, I'm speaking very generally without a specific example, and when we have a specific example, we can give you better nuanced advice, but
What Robin is saying too, what Robin is saying, I want to reinforce this, Robin, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with what they're projecting or their plan or anything else. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you stand up for yourself. And the very
Mhm.
fact that you are able to do that is a win for you. We're not saying you should always agree with them to make them feel good. That's not what we're saying.
except for one thing that might help you whenever you can. I mean, in addition to what Dennis is saying, just to dig down deeper into the details, because if they say something like, ex-husbands like to play games with visitation.
Mhm.
They like to, they don't, they want to bend the rules all the time.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
courts, frankly, the courts are just inundated. I remember my eyes were wide open when my probate person who was helping us with the navigating the details of the separation said, Robin, these guys are a dime a dozen.
Right, right.
All day, every day, because I was a nervous wreck, and I said, he's gonna say this, he's gonna do that.
Right.
I was like, she goes, you need to relax. She's like, this is all we do. We got his number. He's not,
Right,
because I thought he was gonna come in and pull the wool over their eyes.
right,
Okay, so they had to get involved with rules, but then as soon as a manipulator has rules set, they want to break the rules.
right.
Right.
That's how they work. And so it's one of those things where I can't give you exact like do this or do that. You have to you've got good intuition. I can already tell, and
Yeah.
you see the forest for the trees. But when you can act like you don't care,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like pick your battles, right?
Right.
So he thinks he's pulling one over on you. You guys were supposed to go to brunch with the grandma, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to be an hour late." And he thinks he's throwing a wrench into your plans. And you're like, "Well, my mom's flexible, so if you can give him a win, you just say, "Oh, that works for me, no problem."
Right.
When it doesn't work for you, that's when they get the dopamine response. That's when you get upset and say, "Well, actually, the court says you have to have him back by 10, and we're supposed to be somewhere."
There you
Yes,
go.
that's a win for that. Right.
They're wired
Yeah.
differently than regular human beings.
Yeah. That's right.
That's how they move about the
That's
world.
right.
They look
Oh,
for their little wins everywhere. It's
yeah.
pathetic. It's pathetic. It's sad,
It is.
but they don't know how to be any other way. So in a way, you can think of them like somebody on a spectrum or somebody who's got one leg, they aren't ever going to change.
No. No way. No way.
But it's funny how you said that. Now I'm gonna look at it in a different way. But most definitely it should be a labeled mental illness of some type because I don't understand how people can go through life with a complete zero empathy towards the other
Yeah.
person.
No, I
Kelly, if
know.
I could pass a law that would
Yeah.
pin every one of them down and tattoo their forehead, I would. I would be all over that.
Absolutely. We would.
But the
Then,
reality is they show you who they are from the get-go. Once you and you we will give you a copy of our book. I know that you just found us, but we will
Mhm.
send you a copy of our book because it has worksheets in there. Once you realize what the game is being played and
yeah.
you know what all the tactics are,
Mhm.
it's like a force field. They
Yeah.
won't even target you because you're too much work because you
That's right.
see it
Yeah.
from the first sentence, you can see it
Yeah.
and you thwart it.
Yeah. And
So
these
you're
guys,
not confronting them, you're thwarting them and you're
that's the
not
difference. That's a
complying with it.
big
And it's
difference.
too much work for them.
That's right. They don't want to work hard. These guys are, I'm saying guys, I mean, it could be women too, of course. These people are very, very smart and they think they are too smart to have
They
to
think they're
work
smarter
hard.
than everyone.
They'll do
But
anybody,
they're
anything,
not.
anywhere, as long
No,
as
they're
they're in
not.
control.
And they think that nobody can see the game they're
Can't see it.
playing.
I'm too
And
smart for them. Yeah.
most
No.
people do see it. Some people don't. The saddest thing of all is the people who really don't see it are the
Yeah.
people who are the most honest people, the most sweet, kind
Yeah.
people who've just never been around it before. Those
Yeah.
are the people who get
Yeah.
really
For,
targeted and
for a
really
long time.
exploited.
Goes on for a long
Very
time.
sad
I
because
know.
they don't know what they don't know, right? They've never seen it before. They've never been exposed to it. And before they know it, they're consumed and
Yeah.
completely controlled by the manipulator and sometimes completely alienated from their family, their friends.
Yeah.
Nobody can reach them. And by the time they wake up and realize they've been eviscerated
Yeah.
financially, mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually eviscerated because these people are energy vampires and they exist in every strata of every country, every
Yep.
race has
Absolutely.
them. They're about 7% of the population.
Worldwide. Yep. Absolutely.
So you got to know how to navigate it because you're going to come across them again and again and again.
So
So
number
what do you
one,
think?
you're
Oh, wait.
certainly not alone, Kelly.
Yeah, go ahead,
Right.
Kelly.
Absolutely. And when you say energy vampire, energy suckers for sure. Oh
Mhm.
my goodness. Like I
They're
remember
draining. exhausting.
Yeah.
It's really wild because I remember a long time ago, we had went to a party when we were together, and my girlfriend takes me inside and she's like, "This guy is draining you." And I
Yeah,
was like,
And
really.
"Wow."
Ah,
Like
those
people,
little voices, and I'm glad you said that. I want to highlight what you just said. Her girlfriend pulled her aside and said, "This guy is
yeah,
draining you."
yeah,
This goes out, and Dennis and I had an episode that was all about the bystanders.
yeah.
mm,
The bystanders, the people who witness this,
And tried to help.
need to speak up because oftentimes a person who's a target of a manipulator needs to hear this 100 times
Yeah.
from
Different
all
sources.
different people. And I told the story about a guy who said to me, my ex-husband, he and I had a meeting about a website. My ex-husband blew in and blew out. He was just there for 10 minutes. And when my ex-husband left, he goes, "I really don't like the way he talks to you."
Yeah.
And I
wow.
really liked this guy, and he was a really nice guy. And I thought,
Mm,
wow,
mm.
the nerve it took him to say that to me, because we didn't know each other very well. We were just working on a little project together. And I thought it must be really obvious, because in your head, you're thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh God, I hope nobody
No, yeah,
notices."
nobody knows. Yeah.
Or you're always explaining, like, "Oh, he's just hungry," or "Oh, he's
Yeah.
just busy," or "Oh, yeah, he's
Mm.
just like that when he has a bad day." And
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
yourself constantly trying to make
Yep.
excuses for this ridiculous behavior.
Yep.
That's a terrible behavior. I feel so I feel better now that I'm educated a little bit about it. I've gone through it. I've read the books. I've listened to some things and I've helped myself through therapy and things like that. But how insidious it just comes out and it creeps on you like this.
Mhm.
It's
And
insidious.
and then I feel, it's a really sad situation for these people. I feel bad for them because they have probably no zero relations, no
They
clue
don't
at all.
care. They don't know what they don't know. So this is the
Yeah.
thing. You don't have to feel bad for them because
Yeah.
they aren't capable. They don't
Yeah.
even know what they're missing because
Right.
know they don't
Right.
know what it's like to have true
True
manipulators
friend. Yeah. They don't
aren't
know.
capable of being vulnerable, of being accountable. So they're never going to have the depth of a relationship.
Yeah.
They just
So
don't know.
my question to you is how do people, I mean, how do they, where do these people come from? I mean, what
Everywhere.
are they enabled? Were they growing up enabled, or how did this happen to these people?
Well, the best thing that I have found out in all the books that I've read is, and people can correct me if I'm wrong or do your own research here, because I read this years ago. Around
Mhm.
the age of 15 months old, between 15 and 22 months old, a child before 15 months old doesn't know that it's a separate person from the mother. It thinks it's just an extension of the mother. And then what happens is the brain's coming online. If you look at the growth from 0 to 3 years old, it's enormous. It's a hockey stick. We learn more in those first 3 years than any other time. Everything is wired. So, but there's a critical period of growth between 15 and 22 months in which the child starts realizing that they're separate from the mother. That's why they run too far away and they panic and they cry and they're confused. So their brain's starting to realize, oh, you can get hurt. Oh, your mom's out of sight. Oh, how did she disappear? So the brain is trying to sort all this out. Well, apparently, and again, you come into the world with a personality that's wired. So we don't know who's wired or how they're wired. So that's 50% of it. But during that window of time between 15 months old and 22 months old, if they're over-shamed, now we don't know what over-shaming is because the personality part has varying degrees of sensitivity, and all mothers know this. Children are very different. So
Mhm.
for that child's personality, if they're highly sensitive to others and they're told no, 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 or don't touch that, or you're bad, and it overwhelms them, they
Okay.
disconnect with, they say, "Oh, I'm not going to survive if I do something wrong or bad. Like my survival's at stake." Their brain does that. And so now they can never be held accountable. So the shame overwhelms them to the point of that brain overload, like I can't survive if, and I'm not the love's withdrawn. And so they start to learn their brain, whatever. I know there's probably scientific evidence for actual connections. All of a sudden they cannot process making mistakes. So if you think about it, manipulators, one of the things that runs not only win lose, but they always have to be winning, because their idea of mistake or losing means their virtual survival's at stake. Like that's the way they respond. So they're never
Wow.
accountable. They never apologize. They never self-reflect. They just go on to the next win. A true manipulator. I hope that I should have make that more succinct, but I hope that makes sense. Be quiet, Dennis. It's too late. I already did the long.
It's too late now.
Couldn't it be a better superpower?
Could it be a better
Better
superpower?
superpower, something that helps people. I mean, come on.
We reward manipulators in
Yeah.
our society. Many of them are
Yeah.
at the top of the
Yeah.
the success. We reward it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
um,
That's
which is not good. And now with the narcissism is out of control now with social media. People are so consumed with
Yeah.
looking
How do
perfect
I
and
look?
putting makeup and filters on and
Yeah.
trying to act like their life is great all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
it's not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Wow.
it's a
Well,
lie.
thank you. That was just the whole idea from the time that they're born to, to that, just that short length of time. I can get it now. I totally see that because
Yeah,
the need to
speaking of
nurture and
psych-
everything. Yeah, the mind, the brain is always still. I mean, I don't think it's finished growing until like when you're what in your late 20s or something.
well, for
Is what
men, it's longer than women. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, there's different stages of brain development, and but if you think about that first 3 years, boy, that is, you learn to walk, you learn to talk, you get potty trained, I mean, and there's so many other things that you learn, like just everything about the world. You don't know what anything is, you know nothing, but you go from being a helpless tiny little infant to a walking talking person. That's a
Mhm.
lot. That's a whole lot.
And at that point, it's just beginning. From that
Yeah.
point on, you have peer pressure and all kinds of other things that are laid out as expectations and behaviors, and you're trying to fit each one. So your kids around the age of 15 either are just going through or who have just come through or are in a stage where what do they want? They're becoming who they are, whatever they are. And
Mhm.
teenagers, what do they want? They want to fit in
Yeah.
Mhm.
and stand out at the same time.
Yes.
So they're
Right.
confused. It's a difficult thing.
It's a
And so as
very, yeah,
so
very
even
difficult.
even some of the manipulative tactics get learned during that period of time because this particular tactic helps me to fit in. It helps me to stand out. It's always
Right.
learning. So as they become adults and we come into relationships with them, sadly, if we're not prepared for that or we don't value ourselves enough to see that it's being used on us, we all of a sudden we're stuck. We're in it, and it's happening.
Right. Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
it is a gift. In a way, it
It
can
is.
just anything can be transmuted. And struggle and challenges in life can be transmuted into strength. And I think sounds like you're handling your children
Yeah.
well. The gift that they can get from learning to see manipulation for what it is and then know how to navigate it will serve them the rest of their life.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Oh,
really will. So you can feel good about that. And yes, you will have to guide them and
Yeah.
guide them without making yourself, you're the good guy and him the bad guy, because that'll
right.
backfire.
Yeah. It's hard.
Right.
It's hard.
But
Right.
it sounds like you have a handle on that, which is
Yeah. And
awesome.
at this point, your kids, as you said, your kids are handling it pretty well. Well, my grandmother always used to say to me, whatever your kids do, they didn't take it from the wind. So
Mhm.
you've done something right. You've done something that's helping them. And as long as and I think, frankly, I think if I can sound self-serving, I think you're talking with us is the right thing to do. I want you to know you're not alone with all of this. This is what we deal with all the time. You are not alone. And there are things that you can do to protect yourself even if you can't make the manipulator go away, there are things that you can do to protect yourself from feeling like the victim, is the word that you used. You don't have to feel that way. There are people who can help you. We will do as much as we can to help you with that. And that's why we're here basically each week. That's why we meet folks, and why I was so grateful that you were willing to share your experiences with others, because there's probably a lot of folks out there feeling like you, overwhelmed. That's
Before
exactly
we
what it
wrap
is.
up, Kelly, I do want to reiterate that the key piece of advice we have for you is don't take the bait.
No.
With text
Right.
messaging, you're in a
Right.
position of power.
Yeah.
A manipulator thinks about every single syllable they
Yeah.
write. It's
Yeah.
calculated, it's
Yeah.
strategic. The timing of the text message is strategic.
Yeah.
You don't have to respond immediately.
Right.
See it for what it is and
Yeah.
don't take the bait.
Yeah.
Always respond neutrally, and wherever you can, give them an I don't care, that's fine with me, you're
Yes.
great, no problem.
Yeah.
Do it,
Yeah.
because that's the best way that you can stick it to them. They want you to be upset. They
Yeah.
want to throw a wrench into your plans. They feed off of your pain.
The more you
Thank
can
you.
discipline,
Right.
the more you can discipline yourself to do the kind of things that we're suggesting that we know work, the more you can do it. It may not work the first time, the second, or the
Not
third time,
easy.
but the more you can do it, the more
Mhm.
they will eventually, it doesn't take years, doesn't take a long, they're very smart. They don't want to work that hard. As long as that you can maintain that behavior and that thought process and that mindset, as long as you can do it, eventually it'll stop. They'll go away. It's hard to believe that
Well,
now when you're in the midst
it'll
of it.
never go away.
It doesn't,
I'm sorry. I still have my ex-husband. Like he's
it
like a,
doesn't, I don't mean
I
go
say now
away.
he's like a housefly that buzzes your face every once in a
Yeah,
while.
okay.
But you know, it's manageable.
It becomes
Right.
manageable. Thank you for that
Thank you.
correction, Robin. That's exactly,
Well, I'm
it
living
becomes
the
more
dream,
manageable.
Dennis. What can I say?
How about less?
No, that's not possible either,
No,
but
I know
you
that.
can keep praying for that.
Kelly, what's your reaction to all of this blather that we've been putting out here?
I mean, honestly, I have noticed that the less emotion you put into it and the more indifferent you are and the
Yeah.
less emotion and reaction, because boy, do they feed off that.
Yeah, they
They
love
feed
it.
off
It's
that.
Amen.
delicious.
Amen.
And it's so easy to see that though, being of so many years into this, it's
Yeah.
so easy now,
Yeah.
the tools, like I get it. You got my kids. You're getting trying to feed off that and make me
Yep.
nervous, scared, or worried. But
Yep.
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
but the more you try to do that, the more I see, oh yeah, you're just a clown. You're
You're
Good.
just
way
See
ahead
that?
of the game. Way ahead of
Good
the
for
game. You
you.
should look at how far you've come because
Yeah.
there are some people who never get to where you are.
All right.
They just don't.
Good for
yeah. Well,
you.
I
Yeah.
hope we can. I mean, I can, and you all continue doing such a great job that you're doing and get the word out. And I hope that it does help people understand that this is dealing with somebody like this is definitely it's challenging
Yeah.
and but you have to know how to get through it. You have to know the strategy
Yeah.
and don't be so reactive.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
definitely if anybody can just text that crazy person, then just text that crazy person.
Good.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we always tell them to get away whenever they can. But when you have
Yeah.
children with someone you're locked in, sometimes you work for someone,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
leave your job. You know, there's
Right.
situations where you just have to manage the situation, but you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Minimal contact because it's only
Minimal.
through communication and contact where they can manipulate you.
That's right.
If they're not communicating with you, it's very hard for them to manipulate you.
That's right.
Right. Well,
Well, it sounds
thank
like you're
you.
doing the right things. It sounds like they're being sort of successful for you. And we're encouraging you to continue doing those right things, and uh, become not only aware, but become less caring if you can. Not in regards to the way your children are treated and all of that, but to allowing him to get to you like that. It's just a game they're playing. You're never going to change him. He'll come back and apologize and all the usual stuff. No, just accept the role that you've designed for yourself. I don't care. I see you. I get you for what you are, and you're not going to take over my mind. You're not going to control me any longer. Thank you. And then you say, okay, bye bye. That'll
Right.
work. That works best.
She's doing it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good for you, Kelly. Thank you for sharing this with us
Yeah,
and
we really
everybody.
appreciate your time. You can stay on. We're gonna, as we wrap up, I'll hit the button and we can stay on and debrief. We appreciate everybody listening.
Yeah.
We love these interviews. So if any of you know of someone out there who's willing to help others and would like to interview with us, please reach out. You can find us at our website, outwitinrealtime.com. And I'm Robin Golinski with Dr. Dennis Becker. Say thank you for listening, and we'll see and hear you next time.